Good evening, everyone. Can you please confirm if I am audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes,
Okay.
audible. Good evening.
Thank you. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening. Please do one thing, mute yourself. Please give me first half an hour. I'll explain everything. After half an hour, I'll take all your questions. If you have any question, please wait. After half an hour, I'll let you speak. You can ask if you have any questions. Okay, before we start our demo, let me introduce myself. Give me a second. Let me share my screen and please confirm if my screen is visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Good evening again. And welcome to the live demo on Angular-14. Before we start our demo, let me introduce myself. Yes, when it comes to me, I'm Sanjay Kumar. I have around 7 years of corporate experience as a front-end developer. And I have 5 years of experience as a trainer. I do take care of mean and mon stack training here in Naresh IT. I take classes on Angular, React, and all. That is all about me. You can find me on LinkedIn with my name. Okay. So what is the training roadmap? So everyone must have a question. What is the course duration? How long this training is going to be continued? Who all should enroll for this course? What is the timing? I will address all these questions. Let me go through all the slides. Then I will let you speak up. The course duration is 2 months. The class timing is going to be 1 hour daily, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Working days, the sessions will be there from Monday to Saturday. Only Sunday, there will be no sessions. During our demo, we will not have sessions during the Saturday. And from next week onwards, we will have Monday to Saturday sessions. What is the plan? The plan is initial 2 weeks, we will be discussing JavaScript. Then next 4 weeks, we will be discussing Angular. And the last week, we will be discussing other things like resume preparation, interview preparation, project, unit testing, and other stuffs. We will discuss all these things for 1 week. So in total, the training will be for 7 to 8 weeks. You can say it will roughly take 2 months time. What will not be covered as part of this training? Yes, complete HTML will not be covered. Only the things from HTML which is required to become a React developer, only that part will be covered. CSS also will not be covered in detail. You should have HTML and CSS knowledge to attend this training. If you have very basic knowledge on HTML and CSS, you should be good to attend this training. You people might have questions like, I am a beginner in JavaScript. Is it the right course for you? Yes, this is the right course for you. You don't have to worry for JavaScript. I will take care of JavaScript. Next. What is the course objective, or what is the takeaway from this course? What are we going to learn as part of this training? Yes, once you attend this training, we will learn programming fundamentals and object-oriented concepts. We are going to learn how to write if-else, how to write for loop, how to write switch case statement, what is class, object, inheritance, other things, object-oriented programming concepts we will be learning as part of this training. If you attend this training, it will help you to learn any new technologies. Let's say you attend this training, you will be expert in JavaScript and you will be expert in Angular. In future, if you have to learn React, or if you have to learn Vue.js, some other front-end framework, it will be easier for you. As part of this training, we will also learn how to incorporate best practices. So I have enough corporate experience. I will explain all those things that are being followed in the industry. We will learn how to incorporate best practices when we develop something. We will use a lot of libraries and tools that are being used in real-time projects. We will understand what is Postman, what is Git, what is GitHub, what is Visual Studio Code, what is JSON server. These are libraries and tools we are going to learn as part of this training. We will also learn the tools and techniques for debugging. Only developing a page will not be enough. Along with developing a page, if we come across any issues, if we come across any problem, how to debug that, how to find out where the problem is, that is important. We are going to learn how to debug existing applications. As part of this training, we are going to learn server interaction, how to send and receive data from server. See, at the end, what happens? Front end will not be able to talk to database. If we learn only Angular, we will not be able to talk to database directly. If Angular has to talk to database, then we have to use REST APIs. We need to interact with servers. And to interact with server, what all things are required, we are going to learn as part of this training. Then at the end, it will enable us to develop a web application using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and Angular. Yes, at the end of the course, we should be in a position to develop a web application by using all these concepts. What is the training highlight? This training is designed for both beginners and experienced candidates. If you think I'm a beginner, will I be able to cope up? Yes, you will be able to. Suppose you have enough experience with JavaScript. Is it the right course for you? Yes, this is the right course for you. You might be thinking, I already know JavaScript. Is this the right course for you? Yes, this is the right course for you, because as part of this training, we are going to learn advanced JavaScript concepts. We are going to learn ECMAScript 6 concepts. We are going to learn how JavaScript internally works. What is the internal architecture of JavaScript engine? We are going to learn how arrow function and normal functions are different internally. How this keyword is working internally. It is call, bind, apply. What is prototype? What is throttling? What is debouncing? Set timeout, set interval. what is asynchronous programming, what is async await, what is generator function. All these things we are going to learn as part of this training. So this training is planned in such a way that it will be helpful for both beginners and experienced candidates. We will have hands-on exercises for each topic. We will have hands-on exercises for each topic. We will have real-time examples on every topic. Let me quickly show you how my training looks like, how the content looks like. When I start JavaScript, in JavaScript, we will be discussing all these things. Let me quickly show you what all things from JavaScript I'm going to discuss. From JavaScript, all these things we are going to discuss. Whatever folders you see here, let me quickly show you the content, also JavaScript course content. We are going to discuss all these things, starting from variable hosting, variable scopes. We will discuss string, array, object, oops, closure, prototype, events, set interval, set timeout, callback, promise, async await, offline storage, ECMAScript 6. Again, when it comes to ECMAScript 6, under ECMAScript 6, we have a lot of things. We are going to discuss each and everything from ECMAScript 6. From ECMAScript 6 itself, we are going to learn 20 topics. How const and let are different from var. What is IIFE? What is template literal? What is default parameter value? What is rest parameter? Array and object destructuring, arrow function, spread operator, modules, promise, generators, tail calls. So all these things from ECMAScript 6, we are going to discuss as part of this training. And as I told you here, that for every topic, we will have hands-on exercises. How does that look like? Let me quickly show you. Let's say today I'm going to discuss array. If I'm planning to discuss array, then first of all, I will let you know what is array, what is the use of array, where array will be used. Once we understand that, we will discuss all the methods from array. All the methods from array will be discussed. Once we are comfortable with all the methods from array, we will have practice. These are practice examples. These are real-time use cases. We will be doing all these things as part of this training itself. We will have CRUD application using array, where we will add something, edit something, delete something. Okay, these all real-time use cases we are going to discuss. Once we are done with these, we will discuss interview questions. So I have listed all the most frequently asked interview questions from array. You attend any interview, you attend interview as an Angular developer, they will ask 60% question from JavaScript and only 40% question from Angular. Because they know that if somebody is good at JavaScript, it's not a big deal for someone to learn Angular. So nowadays, interviewers focus more into JavaScript. Their more focus will be into JavaScript. And when it comes to JavaScript, they will ask you to write a program on array, on string, on set timeout, set interval. So all those questions, what are being asked in interview, I will be discussing as part of this training. Along with all these things, I will give you assignment. These are the assignments I will be giving you, and I will expect you to complete the assignment by next session. This is how every topic will be discussed. If we go to DOM, In DOM also we will have same. We will discuss what is DOM, what all methods from DOM. Then we will have assignments, couple of assignments. As part of DOM, we will develop one calculator application. We will develop one calculator. We will develop one calculator. This kind of small things we will be doing as part of DOM topic itself. Then we will have a lot of real-time use cases, and there will be assignments for every topic. Then suppose we are discussing string. If we are discussing string, in string itself, we will discuss a lot of assignment questions. We will understand all the methods related to string, and we will discuss interview questions that are mostly asked in interviews. So this is how my training plan is. For every topic, I will let you know what is string, what is the use of string. We will understand all the methods related to string. We will have a lot of interview questions solved, and I will also give you assignment on that topic. So this way, if we continue, at the end of the course, you will be in a situation, or you will be in a place where you can crack any interview. That is how the training is planned. Okay, so we were discussing this. Yes, so as I told, there will be hands-on exercises for every topic. The programs will be written. The programs will be written then and there itself. I will not show you the existing programs at all. When it comes to Angular, I will be writing the live code and I will show you. There will be real-time examples on every topic. There will be assignments. There will be mock interviews. Once we are done with JavaScript, we will have one mock interview. Once we are done with Angular, we will have one mock interview. Yes, resume preparation session will be there. Placement assistance will be there. Once you are done with Angular training, you will get a lot of calls from Naresh IT. There are a lot of companies, they come to Naresh to hire people. You can apply for those roles. Class recordings, yes, everyday session will be recorded and will be uploaded in Google Classroom. You will have access to those recorded videos for next 1 year. Class notes, yes, this is how my class notes will look like. I will have class notes and I will share these notes with you in Google Drive and GitHub. This is Angular notes. This is how my notes look like. I will share these notes in Google Drive and in GitHub. Either way, you can download these files and you can keep with you. The same way we will have JavaScript notes also. This is how JavaScript notes look like. I will share this note with you in both Google Drive and GitHub. You can download these notes and you can keep them with you. Yes. Next, let me move to next slide. Yeah. Let us understand what web development is, how web development looks like, and in web development world, where Angular fits. Let us understand that. Okay, we all are set to join this Angular training. We all are prepared to attend this Angular training. Once I join Angular training, for what all roles I can apply, what I will be after 2 months. where Angular fits in web development. Let us understand. First of all, what do you mean by web development? Web development is nothing but website development, right? We can develop a website. Okay. When we develop a website, let it be Flipkart, let it be Amazon, let it be Paytm, let it be Zomato, Swiggy, whatever it is. Whenever we talk about website development, we will have 4 sections, or we will have 4 layers. What are those layers? Front-end layer, back-end layer, database layer, server layer. Every application will have 4 layers. And whenever we develop a website, in a team, you will find 4 kind of developers. You will find front-end developer, you will find back-end developer, you will find database developer, and you will find server developer or server admin, or you can call it something else also. What is the use of front-end and what front-end developers they do? What is the role of backend? What backend developers, what they do? What is database and what is server? Let us understand. You open any application. Let's say Flipkart. This is our Flipkart application. This is how it looks like. The user interface or the look and feel of this application is taken care by front end. What do we do with front end? With front end, we take care of user interface. What is user interface? User interface using which we interact with the application. See, here we see login button, here we see cart option, here we see a search bar. All these things are taken care with the help of front end. But when we click on login button, yes, this screen is developed using front end technology. Can be Angular, can be React, can be Vue.js, it can be anything. This screen can be developed using front end, but when user enters user ID and enters password, and user clicks on login button, when user clicks on login button, here we see one error message, your username or password is incorrect. How did we get to know that either username or password is incorrect? So front end can decide? No, front end cannot decide this. Then who decides? What happens here actually? So here what happens? Let me quickly show you. What happens here? Whenever users they sign up or they register themselves, their details, user details will be stored in database. Whenever users register themselves or they sign up, their details will be stored in database. Their details will be stored in database in the form of rows and columns. User details will be stored in database in the form of rows and columns. We can call it as user table. Then when we click on login button, we see this screen. This user login screen can be developed. This user login screen can be developed. Username and password, then this login button. These two input boxes, username and password, then this login button. This screen can be developed. This screen can be developed using front-end technology. This screen can be developed using front-end technologies. When we say front-end, it can be mix of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, can be either Angular or React or Vue.js, either one of the framework. Now, here we enter username something. Here we enter username ABCD and password XYZ. When we enter username ABCD and password XYZ and we click on login button, can we directly go and check in the database that this username and this password is there in the database? Can we directly go and check using any of the front-end technology, using HTML or CSS or Bootstrap or JavaScript or Angular or React? Anyone has that capability? Yes, no? No. So none of the front-end technologies, they have the capability to go and talk to database directly. So it means when we click on login button, our JavaScript or our Angular is not going and talking to database directly. Then what happens? In between front-end and database, we have one more layer. That one more layer is backend layer. This backend can be developed. By using Java or by using .NET, by using PHP, by using Python, by using Node.js, by using either one of these technologies, we can develop the backend part of any web application. Now what happens? This front end will send a request to backend saying ki, was user has entered username ABCD and password XYZ. Can you please go and check whether this username and password is there in the database? So when we send a request to backend, so the way front end sends a request to backend, this is called REST APIs. Backend will develop REST APIs and will expose those. Those things will be consumed by front end. So front end will send a request to backend saying ki boss, user has entered username ABCD and password XYZ. Can you please do me a favor? Can you please go and check if this username and password is there in the database? Backend is capable of talking to database. Backend will go and check in the database what is the username. The username is ABCD. What is the password? The password is PQR. If the password is PQR, then backend will get to know that, okay, for ABCD user, password is PQR. Then backend will respond saying ki, no, looks like entered password is not correct. So when front end receives that response from backend, here we say ki, no, you are not authenticated user. Either the username or password is wrong. Or we say, yes, this username and password is correct. Please go to the dashboard page. Please go to the next page. So this is how 3 layers of web application look like. This is our front end layer where we take care of the user interface. This is our backend layer, or we call it as processing layer, where we write all the processing logic. This is our DB layer where our data gets stored. And once our web application gets developed, what we do? we deploy the application in one server. That is what we saw here. So every application, every web application will have front-end layer, backend, database, and server. The front end of every web application will be developed using HTML, CSS, JavaScript for sure, and either React as a framework or Angular or Vue. Yeah, we are going to discuss that also, how Angular is better than other frameworks that we are going to decide, that we are going to discuss. But yes, either one of these frameworks we can use. When it comes to backend, the backend of web application can be developed either by using Node.js or by using PHP or .NET or Java or Python. Next. At the end, the data needs to be stored somewhere. Where do we store the data? We store the data in database. The database can be SQL, can be MySQL, can be MongoDB. These are the most used databases. And once the web application is developed, it has to be deployed in a server so that people will be able to access that 24/7. We need a server to deploy that application. That server can be Apache Tomcat, that can be some other server also. Hope this image makes sense. Yes, as we discussed, what is web development? Web development is nothing but website development. When we develop a website, we have these layers. Front end. What is the use of front end? Front end can take care of the user interface, and front end of the web application can be developed using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, or React. Either one of them. Backend, or we call it as processing layer. Why we need this backend layer or processing layer? Front end cannot directly talk to database. That is why in between front end and database, we need a layer, that is backend layer. The backend layer of web application can be developed either by using Java or .NET or PHP or Python or Node.js. We need database for data storage. Can be either Oracle, MySQL, or MongoDB. We need a server where we will deploy our application. It can be Apache Tomcat, WebLogic, Glassfish. It can be something else also. Yes. When it comes to front end, we discussed in front end, we have many things again. We have HTML, we have CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, Angular, React, Vue. What is the use of HTML? What is the role of CSS? What is the use of Bootstrap, JavaScript, Angular, or React? What is the use? Let us understand. With HTML, what we can do? With HTML, we can manage the content of an application. We can only manage the content of a web application. Content means when we open an application, we see a button here. Let's think about this. We have one input box. We have one search icon. We have login button. We have image here. We have cart option. So all these are nothing but contents. The contents of a web page can be developed with the help of HTML. HTML helps us to add content to a web page. It can be paragraph, can be image, can be table, can be list, can be audio, can be form, can be video, it can be button, checkbox, anything. Okay. Now, only adding the things are not enough. If you only add the content to a page, the content will not be looking good. If your content is not looking good, people will not be interested to visit your website. What is the use of that then? To add better styling to our content, we use CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS is mainly used for styling our website, for styling our web page. What do we mean by styling? Styling includes changing the color, changing the border, changing the width, height, changing the background color, taking care of positioning, right? So all these things will come under CSS, and with the help of CSS, we can take care of styling our web page. We can improve the look and feel. We can improve the styling of our web page that we developed. Okay, now I have a question. With the help of HTML, if I can add content, with the help of CSS, if I can add styling to my web page, why are we learning other things? What is the use of Bootstrap? Yes, Bootstrap is a CSS library. Bootstrap is a CSS library. It has lot of predefined CSS. It has lot of predefined CSS. And it is mainly used to achieve responsiveness in our application. Yes, if we use Bootstrap, we don't have to write every CSS. We will get a lot of predefined CSS classes. We can make use of them. If something is not there in Bootstrap, then we can use our own CSS. Is it clear? Let's say we have a button. I want to change the background color of that button to green. If I want to change the background color of that button to green, I don't have to write any predefined, I don't have to write any custom CSS for that. I just have to use a class name btn success. That's all. Maybe I can quickly show you. Give me a second. I'll show you. See, in HTML, to create a button, we just write button. This button tag is enough to create a button, and this is how our button looks like. Now, what if I want to apply some background color to this button? We can write our custom CSS. Either we can write our custom CSS or we can use the predefined CSS from Bootstrap. If we try to use predefined CSS from Bootstrap, then what we have to use? We have to just use few class names. The class names will look like this: btn, success. See, when I used this class name btn and btn success, it applied background color green and text color white. Like this, there are a lot of predefined classes: btn danger, btn primary, we can have different buttons, right? So it is quick. We don't have to write our own CSS. We can make use of all the existing class names. Yes. Fine. Now I'll ask the same question again. With the help of HTML, if I can add content, with the help of CSS Bootstrap, if I can use predefined CSS, or I can make the page responsive, what is the use of JavaScript? What is the use of JavaScript? If you have buttons, that is not enough. When you go and click the button, nothing is happening. When I click here, nothing happens. When I click here, nothing is happening. When I click here, nothing happens. What if I want on click of this, a panel should open. The way when we click on login button, a page opens where it asks user to enter mobile number and password. We want similar functionality here. How can we do that? For that, we need JavaScript. For that, we need JavaScript. JavaScript is required. Okay. For that, JavaScript is required. We can say in a web page, if you want to add behavior, we need JavaScript. On click of this button, what should happen? If I do this, what should happen? So these all things can be controlled with the help of JavaScript. Yes, JavaScript is also used for other things like form validation, DOM manipulation, server interaction, and many more. In a single word, if I have to explain somebody why we use JavaScript, what is the role of JavaScript in a website development, we use JavaScript to manage the behavior of the web application. Then, okay, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. These four things are enough to develop a website. Can somebody please answer me? These four things are enough to develop a website? Yes. Yes, these four things are enough. Then, why are we learning Angular? Why are we attending Angular demo today? Why are we attending Angular demo today? To get better package? Number of openings are more in Angular? Okay, let's understand. What is the use of Angular? Yes, as we discussed, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript, these four things are enough to develop website. And 10 years back, people used to do that. 10 years back. Now, why are we using Angular or React or Vue for developing web applications? The answer is Angular, React, Vue, these are JavaScript frameworks. They provide lot of inbuilt functionalities. They provide lot of functionalities out of the box. We don't have to do many things manually. So what all things they provide? Yes, if we talk about Angular, Angular is a JavaScript framework. It's a framework means lot of things we will get out of the box. Earlier, to create a project, we used to create folder structure manually. But now with Angular, we don't have to create a folder manually. We don't have to create folder structure manually. You just ask Angular, I need a project. Within few seconds, it will give you a project with a lot of files and folders. We use Angular for rapid application development. If we develop one application using plain JavaScript in 6 months, we can do that in 2 months. We will get a lot of things out of the box. We have command line interface. We have Angular CLI. Using Angular CLI, we can create a project within a minute. We can create a component just by running a command. We can create a service just by running a command. We can create directive just by running a command. So it supports CLI. Angular supports a template system. What is a template system and how it helps? In plain HTML, you cannot write if-else condition in HTML file. No. In plain HTML, we cannot write if-else condition in HTML. What if I have to write one paragraph 10 times? Can I write a for loop in HTML file? No, we can't do that. Those things are not being supported out of the box in plain HTML. But those things are possible here in Angular. Because Angular provides a template system, In that template system, you can write if-else condition in the HTML file itself. If condition is true, display paragraph 1. If condition is false, display paragraph 2. Iterate one array and display all the items in table. We can do it in the HTML file itself because Angular's template system is that powerful. We can create reusable components and we can use those reusable components in different pages. Suppose I will create a reusable component search. That search component I can use in many pages. I can use in different pages. It is create once and use it many times. Synchronization of state and view. Synchronization of state and view means, suppose I have one input box and I have a variable. In the variable, let's say I have a value var name equal to Sachin. That Sachin value I will print in an input box. At the same time, I want if somebody changes Sachin to something else in the input box, the variable that is declared in the JavaScript also should change. For that, in plain HTML or JavaScript, we have to write a on key of event. Every time there is a key of happens, we need to collect the latest value and store it in that variable. Those things are not required here in Angular. There will be variable, that variable will be used in the HTML. Whenever you change something in the HTML, your variable will be updated. That is called synchronization of state and view. Then routing. Routing is again one of the most important feature we get out of the box from Angular. One application can have lot of pages. If we want at a time only one page should load and other pages should not be loaded unnecessarily, we can achieve that with the help of routing. We can load only one page and other pages or other components will not be loaded unnecessarily. When we click a link, that time that component will be loaded. Maybe I can quickly show you that also. Localhost 3000. Yeah, this is one React application. When we click home, home component will be loaded. When we click on link, link component will be loaded. The way here it works, when we click home, here home gets loaded. When we click on table, table gets loaded. When we click on images, images gets loaded. Similar functionality we can achieve in Angular using routing, and that we will get out of the box from Angular. Yes. Then we will get better Ajax. I mean server interaction. Angular has better Ajax. We can have proper error handling. We can get form validation functionality out of the box. Yes, these are the benefits of Angular over plain JavaScript. And there are many more we will be discussing in our upcoming sessions. Next. These are the most commonly asked questions I have collected from previous batches. Let me talk about them. If I will not cover any question here in this slide, maybe you can ask in the next slide. So people will ask questions like, what is the prerequisite to attend this training? The prerequisite to attend this training is basic HTML and basic CSS knowledge. Please don't expect me to explain everything from HTML and everything from CSS. We will not be discussing topic 1 from HTML, topic 2 from HTML, topic 3 from HTML. No, it will not be like that. Yes, we will be discussing few things from HTML like table, form and all. Anyway, we will be using, but I will not discuss HTML and CSS topic by topic. The prerequisite is you should have HTML and CSS knowledge to attend this training. Second question people commonly ask, what is the laptop configuration I should have? Any laptop configuration should be fine if you have at least 4 GB of RAM it should be fine. If you have better configuration, it is always good. What is the mode of training? Is it online or offline? It is completely online. It is completely online. There is no offline class. What is the fee? How should we pay the fee? For fee related questions, please reach out to Naresh IT admin or management. You will find their number in the website. Are you going to share notes? Yes, I'm going to share notes. I will share notes in Google Drive and GitHub. You can download. How about class recordings? Class recordings will be uploaded to Google Classroom and the link will be shared with you. And these recordings will be there for 1 year. How do we talk to admin? This is admin's number. This is Naresh IT office number. You can WhatsApp them. You can give them a call. Yeah, thank you for attending the demo. We will have a demo for next 3 days. So I will request every one of you, please attend 3 days demo at least. You will get to know my teaching style. You will get to know what all contents I do cover. You will get to know how I take care of each topic. So you will get better idea. Please attend demo for next 3 days. We will have 3 free demos. After that, you people will have to register. Yes, thank you for joining today's demo. Now, if you have any question, please raise your hand and ask one by one. I will be happy to address your questions. Please go ahead one by one. You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Bhupendra. Bhupendra. Yeah, please go ahead with your questions.
Sir, can a full stack student join this batch?
Yes, you can check with admin.
Okay.
Please check with Naresh admin.
Course
Okay.
duration.
Course duration is 2 months.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, how many people will be in this batch?
20 to 20 members will be there.
Okay, because today we are seeing 121 participants. So how you are going to manage if everyone wants to join the course?
No, we have seen, I mean, in the past also we have seen that there will be 100 plus students attending demo, but when actual class starts, there will be 20 students.
Okay, so there is a liberty of the end of the session. We can have questions and answer. Is it possible? Or
Let me answer this. Only
yeah.
for next 3 days, you will have liberty to ask a question at the end, but when actual class starts, you can interrupt me in the middle also and you can ask your questions if you have anything. See, there are 100 plus students, right? If we
Yeah,
give
that's
the
great.
liberty to ask anytime, people will
Mhm.
come up with questions, right? So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
next 2-3 days, you have to wait till the end to ask a question. But once the actual class starts, there will be only 20 students or maybe 20 to 30 students will be there. You can ask
Oh.
a question anytime.
Okay, and sir, when the Angular actual start, in how many days after the, because you are taking first JavaScript and all those things, right? Brush up. So when the actual Angular, how many days you are giving to the Angular in this course?
Did you miss my first slide?
Yeah, oh yeah, because you are including JavaScript as well. That's concept,
Yes.
right?
If you think uh, JavaScript is not required, it is a misunderstanding. We are going to
sir.
discuss all the advanced topics from JavaScript as well, which will
Okay.
help you to crack any interview. So
Okay.
without JavaScript knowledge, it will be little difficult to understand Angular also. That is why I am planning that first 2 weeks we will be discussing JavaScript. Once we are comfortable with JavaScript, we will understand React.
Okay.
Sir,
Thanks.
sir, for
Angular.
attending,
Yeah, sorry.
Sir, are you mentioned Angular-14 here? So can you cover all the previous version?
Yes, I can show you that also. The question here is, this training says this is Angular-14. Are we going to
Yes.
discuss other things also? Yes, for sure. We are going to discuss.
Sir,
give me a
mean,
second.
sir, a previous version,
Yes,
Angular
yes,
13
I understood.
or up to 2.
Yes, we will understand Angular 4, Angular 5, 6, 7, 8, what all things got introduced in which version. Everything will be discussed. So no need to worry.
for attending Angular class, do I need to complete HTML, CSS, JavaScript classes? Actually, I have attending HTML, CSS script morning
No,
sections.
if you have basic knowledge of HTML and CSS, if you know how to write a paragraph, how to create a table, this much knowledge of HTML should be good to start with this training. JavaScript will be taken care as part of this training.
So, can I attend parallelly?
You can attend.
Thank you.
So would we be covering TypeScript also?
Yes. For your information, Angular is using TypeScript as programming language. When I say JavaScript, yes, we will be discussing TypeScript as well. So in Angular, everything is TypeScript. I can quickly show you one of the Angular program. In Angular program, every file will be in the form of TypeScript. So we will be discussing TypeScript as well as part of this training. Yes.
Thank
Sir,
you so
are you
much.
going to teach JavaScript also?
Yes, JavaScript, TypeScript, and Angular. Maybe TypeScript, we will not discuss topic-wise topic, whatever is required for Angular. JavaScript and TypeScript are not much different, only syntactical differences you will find. If you learn the concepts from JavaScript, you can say, I know TypeScript as well. Okay, because JavaScript array and TypeScript array will remain same. JavaScript string and TypeScript string will remain same. What is the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript? That part will be discussed. No need to worry.
Sir, you said you'll be sharing the code and I mean, you'll be sharing the classes through GitHub. So will you be also teaching GitHub in the beginning?
Yes.
Before you...
Yes.
Oh, okay,
will be discussed. Otherwise, how people will understand how to use GitHub? So will be discussed.
Hi sir, in the course, are we covered server side and database side and UI side?
We will not discuss or we will not install any database in our machine, but we will understand how front end will talk to backend APIs, how backend API will fetch data from database and all. We will get that a feeling, but we will not install actual database. We will be consuming REST APIs.
Sir, are we covered?
Yes,
sir, can
we will cover
any real-time projects?
We will develop one real-time application at the end of the training, and for each topic we will be developing one small applications.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. In JavaScript, what topics you will be covering, sir?
From JavaScript, we will understand variables, loop, conditions, ECMAScript 6 features like arrow function, destructuring, generator, REST parameter, async await, promise, all these things.
Sir, before
Angular
before
material also
Angular
you will
14,
explain, sir.
we have
Yes,
have
Angular material will be discussed.
sir, before Angular 14, we have to learn all the previous language of Angular 14. Angular.
No need. We will
Sir,
directly understand Angular 14, but we will see how Angular 14 is different from other versions.
That deployment part also can you explain?
Deployment part will be discussed. We will deploy one application in GitHub and we will see how the URL looks like. People, anyone from anywhere should be able to access your project.
The course
The
duration.
daily class timings 9 to 10 only, or it is
9 to
changed?
10.
Course
Maybe
duration.
5-10 minutes here and there will be there.
End of the course, it is 9 to 10 only.
9 to 10, yes.
What about weekend?
Only Sunday off.
Sir, in this course, sir, you can cover Bootstrap and Angular material. Both you can
Bootstrap
explain,
and
sir?
Angular material, yes.
Yeah, both.
Sir, course duration is?
2 months.
Okay. And course fee, sir?
Course fee admin will let you know.
Okay.
Final project will be full stack based.
Sorry.
Final project based on full stack.
This batch commander Naresh sir special batch.
Can you come again with your question?
Sir, is this batch commander Naresh sir special batch?
No.
Okay, sir.
Sir, what is the difference between React and Angular?
I will explain this topic tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Sir, here you can explain that TDF forms and reactive forms.
Can you come again with your question, please?
Template driven forms and in Angular we have two types of forms, sir. TDF forms and reactive forms.
Yeah. So those things will be discussed for sure. So there was a question, are we going to discuss reactive form and template driven form and reactive form? Yes, we are going to discuss both the forms. We will discuss both template driven form and reactive form or model driven form. We will understand a couple of examples on both template driven form and model driven form, how they are different, how to use template driven form, how to use model driven form, how to validate. All these things will be discussed. No need to worry.
Sir, in TypeScript, actually in TypeScript, like how do we define an interface, like auto wiring, dependency injection? Those concepts
will be discussed.
Sir, certificate will provide after completion.
That certificate will not be very useful. You will just get a certificate that you have attended Angular training.
Okay, so how we certified Angular 14?
You need to explore outside.
Okay, sir.
Sir, do we have any morning timing batches for this course?
There is no batch plan as such. Maybe in future.
Okay.
Sir, Ishwar, this side, I just wanted to know about how far we are dealing with the service workers here in this course.
Service workers, it's not planned, but if you request, I can plan one session.
Yeah, because nowadays the companies are demanding for offline applications as well when there is no connectivity. So I think so.
Yeah. As I told, this is not there in my plan, but if you request or if you really need, I mean, we can plan one session on that, not more than that. We can understand how service worker works. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Are you covering the RxJS and NGRX?
The question is, are we covering RxJS? Yes, we are covering RxJS. RxJS is one of the most important thing in Angular. So RxJS will be discussed for sure. Using RxJS, we will develop applications also. We will be discussing all these operators from RxJS. what is fork join, what is merge map, what is switch map, what is concat map. We will understand real-time applications also on this.
Hello.
Yes.
Will you cover that all CRUD operation using REST API?
Yes, CRUD applications will be explained with REST APIs.
Okay. Means how to observable, how to subscribe that.
All these things will be discussed. No need to worry. There will be a lot of examples on subscription and all.
Sir, at the end of this course, this knowledge is enough for to attending the interviews, right?
Whatever I'm going to explain, if you follow properly, you can crack any interviews. My course will be focusing much how to crack interviews. We'll discuss what all interview questions from JavaScript are being asked nowadays. We will discuss those things. And from Angular point of view also, what all things are being asked in interview. Those things I will be discussing. And this will be completely practical oriented training. I will never use PPTs. Only for demo, I will be using PPTs. The use of PPTs will be over today. From tomorrow, we will start coding then and there itself.
Sir, will you be teaching how to consume REST APIs?
Yes. Without that, we cannot store data in the application. So for sure, we will be discussing that.
Okay, sir. Sir, in that for the interviews, if they'll be asking anything about APIs, like in the real time, what you did, which API you created, like that, if the questions
You
like
can
that,
explain them that I am a front-end developer. I am not creating APIs. We have a dedicated team, backend team. They will develop the REST APIs. They will share those endpoints with us. As a front-end developer, I am consuming those REST APIs. You can explain them like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Is there any other questions, or we are good to close the call for today?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, what about discussion TypeScript, sir? How many you will discuss on TypeScript, sir?
Most of the TypeScript topics will be discussed as part of JavaScript, and whatever is not there in JavaScript and TypeScript has those things like interface and strict typing. All those things will be discussed for 3-4 days.
Only 3-4 days, sir.
JavaScript we will discuss 2 weeks, right? If you include that, it is 3 weeks.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, are you using that PrimeMG also in the UA part to develop?
Are we using?
PrimeMG.
PrimeMG, no. Like PrimeMG, there are a lot of libraries available in the market. PrimeMG is one of the library. EdgeGrid is one of the library. Like PrimeMG and EdgeGrid, there are hundreds of libraries available in the market. We cannot discuss all the libraries as part of this training. We will discuss the most used libraries. The most used libraries are Bootstrap and Material UI. And Material UI is from Angular team itself. So we will be discussing these two things. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining the demo. Thank you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good night, sir.
Thank you. Bye.